Down around the corner, half a mile from here, you see them old trains running, and you watch them disappear without love. Where would you be now? Without love. You know, I saw Miss Susie down along the tracks. She lost her home and her family, and she won't be coming back without love. Where would you be now? Without love. In North Central and the South of Central Freight, gotta keep on pushing, mama, 'cause you know they're running late without love. Where would you be now, 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 now? Without love. Well, the pistons keep on turning, and the wheels go round and round, and the steel roads are cold and hard for the miles they're going down without love. Where would you be now, now, now? Without love. Without love. Without love, where would you be now?
Awesome. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm all wound around here. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Centre for Spiritual Living Toronto. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Tanis Burnett, and I am part of the Queen Street Band. As you heard by my lovely fellows, it's the announcements. So let's get to this. This Wednesday, the class at 7:30 is The Power of Decision, taught by Jonathan Zenz. You can be here in person and or online, yes? Yes. Thank you. I'm looking at like blank.
I'm distracted up here.
Okay. I've got it. No worries. Before class on Wednesday, we have service at 6:30, Practicing the Presence. It's an introspective and contemplative service, and this week's theme is power. We are looking for volunteers. Our community board, which is in the hallway when you come in from the bookstore, it's all listed there, but let me remind you, we need a volunteer coordinator, a social events coordinator, a youth program director, and Wednesday night technical supporter. If you have any questions about any of that and what it involves, go see our distracted minister. No. He's so distracted because he's, taking care of a few of these jobs, so if you can help, we would love to have you on board. We have an iPad raffle. Tickets are available. They're only $10 each, and that's for an iPad mini, which is Wi-Fi compatible. We also have packets of 10 tickets if you want to take them with you to sell to Girl Guides, classmates, workmates, friends, relatives. That can be grabbed in the bookstore, or you can just buy a single ticket if you would like. And we're going to hold that raffle at the fabulous fundraising evening, Friday, December 6th at the Broadway. I'm in it. You'd think I would know. The Broadway Christmas Show. And on that note, I will call up Judy Southern just to fill us in and give us updates on that.
No, just ad lib, Carmen. Oh, is this on?
Yep.
Is this on? Okay. The excitement is growing. Tell us, Carmen, about the excitement.
Well, it's now another week closer, and the excitement is building. So, yes, once again, we are here to remind you that the Broadway Christmas Show is happening. It's our fundraiser for the winter. We are very excited. It's not a show that is very typical of Christmas songs, as we keep saying. You're not going to hear Joy to the World and Jingle Bells. It is actually a theater production show, right? Yes.
So says.
But no, in terms, like, it's not something that we've just put together. It's an actual show. So it's an evening out. It is like going to the theater. So dress up and come and have some cocktails, have some hors d'oeuvres. We got a silent auction going on. The whole purpose is to raise money for the center. And we hope to see everybody there and have some fun and support the center.
Super, super. And we also need your help. We need your help to sell tickets. The tickets are moving fast, and there's only 100 tickets available, so don't get caught short. They're $30 for all this fun, all this food, all this drink, all this camaraderie, and all this opportunity to bid on beautiful, beautiful silent auction items. And we also need, we have a wonderful amount of support, financial support from many of you here. We are well over the halfway mark on our budget. Thank you, thank you, thank you for those people who have sponsored us so far. The sign-up sheet is outside by the bulletin board. We need you to sell tickets. We want to get 100 people here. We know we will, and we just need a few more sponsors if anybody can and is able to and will. That would be absolutely wonderful. So let's get this thing happening on December the 6th. Tennis.
Thank you. And last but not least, we have a pop-up flash book sale. You probably all noticed when you walked in. It is by donation. In the bookstore, you can drop your donation there, and the proceeds are going to disaster relief for the Philippines. So I just got a 3-book volume by Maeve Binchy, so I'm very happy. So go and support and grab books and take them. There's some fabulous kids' books there, too. And on that note, I am going to hand over the microphone to our fabulous and fearless leader, Reverend Jonathan Zenz.
I will take your microphone and I will put it back in the stand because I have a microphone here. Hello. How are you this morning? Well, that was not convincing at all. How are you this morning? Fantastic. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living. My name is Jonathan Zenz. I am the spiritual director here. It is a joy to have you here. Is this thing on?
No. Nope.
Hey, hey, hey. It's on. Can you hear me now? There we go. All right. It's great to have you here and joining us here on this beautiful, beautiful wintry morning. It's cold, yeah? Being from Southern California, this is really cold. But I'm getting accustomed to it after, 2 years here. It's a pleasure to have you here and joining us. I want to say a special welcome to anybody who's here for the first time. It's great to have your consciousness here with us in this center. And that's what we teach. We teach that there is one thing going on. That thing is consciousness. That thing is an active creative source. It is an energy, and it is who and what we all are. And that's what we are here to celebrate and honor in each and every one of us, because we are each uniquely individualized as this creative spirit. And we get to use it. That's the even better part. We get to use this to make our lives extraordinary. And so that's what I am here to help impart to each and every one of you today. And we do this in any number of ways. One of the ways that we do this is by attending a Broadway Christmas. Yeah, I got to keep plugging it. Because that's just who I am. No, the Broadway Christmas is going to be a pretty awesome event. It's we've got. I mean, it's like they say. It's not a typical Christmas concert. It isn't Jingle Bells and Deck the Halls, but you will hear White Christmas, because that was actually done in a Broadway show. So the whole point of the show is it's songs from Broadway shows that have Christmas themes, and we're bringing that to make it a very interesting, unique night of theater. So please join us for that. Let's all take a breath. Resonate right here, right now. Take just this moment to step into a deeper awareness of your space, the space you occupy right here and now. Recognizing that the space you occupy actually goes well beyond your perceived physical limitation. That you occupy this entire room. Your energy occupies this entire room. Your energy actually occupies this entire city, this entire country. Your unique, individualized energy occupies the entire universe. Just think about that. Think about the extraordinary power that comes from that understanding. So let's go ahead and take a look at the front of our songbooks. And let's read together these words of Dr. Ernest Holmes, the founder of our philosophy here. Looking for something. I seem to be, oh well, I'm missing something up here, I don't need it. But let's read together. Oh yes, this is what I'm looking for. This is exactly what I'm looking for, thank you. Let's read this statement of Dr. Ernest Holmes together. Here we go. I am happy and complete today and forever. Within me is that which is perfect and complete. It is the spirit of all life, truth, and action. I am happy in the certain knowledge of this inner light. I radiate joy and life, for life is within me now. Life is within me now. Life is within each and every one of us right here, right now. We are the embodiment of life, and we are the embodiment of light. We are the embodiment of truth. And here to take us down that road of truth a little bit more deeply, I'm going to invite to the lectern our practitioner of the day. Please welcome Margaret Ann Snyder.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
And I think I'm really turned on. Wow. Thank you. I'm excited to be here, up here, in this particular spot today. And usually I'm just nervous, but today I'm excited. So that's progress. That's what I see as progress. I thought I'd mention that. And yesterday, I read from The Science of Mind by Bob Lucken. And I thought, this I have to share. I just have to share this with you. So I will read yesterday's, it's in this magazine, yesterday's entry. Be the best you. Life shrinks or expands in proportion to one's courage. It's by Anna Zanin. If a spiritual treatment could be seen, and a spiritual treatment merely means the mind unifying with good, it would be seen as a pathway of light. If you are a caterpillar, enjoy it. Eat all you can eat and love every bite. You will notice that very few creatures have as many feet. Because of your efforts and because it is your nature, you will be called by an inner voice to stop eating and build a retreat. This is when some caterpillars get into trouble. Some worry, become very anxious, and wonder if building a retreat is in their best interest. A few think they have lost their mind and keep eating. The rule is, be the best caterpillar you can be until you are called upon to be something different. Build the best retreat that has ever been built. You will spend quite a bit of time in total darkness. A lot of changes will be taking place, but they are all for the best. In time, your retreat will become a pathway of light. For reasons that no one can explain, you will emerge from your retreat a completely new creature. You will have lost many of your feet, and you will have wings. Don't judge the new you, or try to return to habits of the past. Make the best of having wings. Experiment with them. Fly as high as you desire. You are and always have been whole, perfect, and complete. Some people spend their entire lives trying to be something they are not and could never be. They miss out on life's greatest pleasures. And after that, had a couple of thoughts come to me this morning about change. And change in the dictionary says, change is to make or become different. What if you changed your mind that now red is blue? How would that change your wardrobe? If you change something physical, the appearance of things may change. If you change your mind, your whole world changes. You feel differently, you act differently, you see relationships differently. How does change start? What comes to my mind is asking a question. Then you either ask it of someone or you wait in silent expectation for the answer. One question leads to another, and before you know it, you're in a curious state of mind. And once, after much questioning, the curiosity runs out and just the waiting remains. When the waiting stops, the allowing, the knowing, the silence becomes a way of life. And I don't think that it's all answered. Perhaps then a deeper faith kicks in. And so my winged friends and fellow caterpillars, if you are here, there is a question brewing. Ask it. Let the answer be with you, and then ask it again. Keep asking until you know that the answers are here and already answered. And I will use the affirmation that Bob Lucken gave to us. I embrace change, for I know it is the only constant. If you will say that with me. I embrace change, for I know it is the only constant. And so it is.
So it is. Thank you for that. We have brilliant minds here, that's for sure. I have to use this today because it's a brand new song. My friend Doug LeBeau, Reverend Doug LeBeau, who I went through ministerial school with, wrote this song, and he premiered it this week at their service and sent it to me, and we're premiering it here at our service. So we're at the forefront of all the great new thought music. So what I'm going to invite you to do is relax. Center yourself. Just be centered. Be simple. Simplify. I remember who I am. I remember who you are and who we are is pure spirit. I remember who I am. I remember who you are and who we are is pure spirit. We are life, we are love, we are light. We are joy, we are peace, we are wisdom and beautiful harmony. We are pure spirit. And I remember who I am. I remember who you are and who we are is pure spirit.
In this moment, in this beautiful, beautiful, brilliant moment, I remember that I am. I remember that God is and I am. And this truth, this one truth, explains everything to me. All of the answers to all of my questions are here right now as I am. God is and I am. I am this spirit that is expansive, that is brilliant, that is the love that expresses through me as me. I am this spirit that is part of this one spirit that is beauty and love and compassion, and there is only one of it. And it is perfect, it is whole, it is complete. It is who I am. It is who each and every one of us is. There is only one divine being, and it is love, it is light, it is peace, it is purpose, it is joy, it is the ever knowing that life is divine. God is and I am. This is who I am. This is what I am. This beautiful, perfect spirit that expands and includes absolutely everyone in this beautiful world. I am divine. I know that I am divine because that's all there is. And I know that I am perfect because God is and I am. I know that I am joy because life is beautiful, as this beautiful expression and power that lives in me expresses. There is only one, and I am it. And I enjoy it. I love it. I express it openly and freely as the divine. All is good and all is well, as I know who I am. In gratitude for this, in gratitude for the knowing and the joy, and the gratitude for the gratitude, and gratitude for being, and this opportunity to share this wonderful expression of me. And gratitude for all of this and so much more. I release these words to that perfect law that says yes, that says I am, that says it is done, and it is done in me and through me. I release, I let go, I let it be so. And together we say, and so it is.
We are light, we are love, we are life. We are joy, we are peace, we are wisdom, and beautiful harmony. We are pure spirit. I remember who I am. I remember who you are, and who we are is pure spirit. I remember who I am. I remember who you are, and who we are is pure spirit. And who we are is pure spirit. And who we are is pure spirit.
Thank you for that. Thank you, Margaret Ann, for your beautiful treatment. I love that song. I love that song. It got me. It got me this week. I'm going to invite you all to stand up, and let's look at the back of our songbooks and read together the Declaration of Principles. And again, as I frequently say, as we read this together, check in with yourself to determine, is this what I stand for? Is this what I believe? And that's up to you. That is entirely up to you. I'm not here to tell you what to think, ever. So let's read this together. I believe in one living spirit, one indestructible, absolute, and self-existent cause. I believe this one manifests itself in and through all creation. I believe in the individualization of the Spirit, and that all people are individualizations of the one Spirit. I believe that heaven is within, and that we experience it to the degree that we become conscious of it. I believe that God is personal to all who feel this indwelling presence. I believe in the eternality, immortality, and the continuity of the individual soul forever and ever expanding. I believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the eternal givingness of life to all. You can be seated. Thank you. There are no mistakes in this universe. On Monday, Fran and I got together, and it's Mondays that we determine what music we're going to sing at the Wednesday service. And we thought, oh, well, let's do everything new this week at Wednesday service. And so we rehearsed it on Monday, and then Tuesday, Pierre sends out the song list for this week. All right, Tanis and Pierre, well, you're the co-facilitators of this entire Queen Street band. And, of course, what song do they put down as the featured song today? The same song. And I thought to myself, well, should we change it up? No, we shouldn't. So we're going to sing Everything New today. After I have a sip of water. Bring it on. Everything new. Everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. I'm through crying, I'm through waiting, I'm through hoping against all hope. I'm through longing for something gone that'll never return. I think I finally learned to bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. I'm through grieving, I'm through dreaming that the life I had is ever coming back. No more wishing on someone else's star that'll never be mine. I think it's time to bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. And I've survived many times before, broken hearts, slamming doors. I'll be all right, yes I will once more, just as I did back then. I'm gonna rise again, so bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. So bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. I know it's gonna be everything new. I love this band. I love this band. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh, okay. All right. All right. So I'm calling myself out in this moment. I'm calling myself out in this moment as a teaching tool for myself and maybe for all of you. If you choose to learn from it, you don't have to. What do I care? So the band can attest to the fact that I've had a very frustrating morning. I came in here, I don't know what was going on with me, but I allowed something from my past to get the best of me. And this entire morning I was having a meltdown basically this morning. Right, Tanis? You can say yes, it's okay. Okay, well I'm glad that your experience of it was different from mine.
What was going on? I recognize what was going on for you, but we weren't participating.
I appreciate that. It's good to know that there's somebody in the room who will know the truth. No, the truth is, I came in with something going on, right? And how many of us have had this experience? We arrive somewhere and, boy, something has been happening, and we bring it with us wherever we go. I'm not immune to the expression of life. A lot of people look at the minister and they're like, oh, the minister, he must really have it all together. And sometimes I just don't, and that's okay. Because I know what to do. I know what to do when that happens. And I had a moment where I said, I've got to step out. I'm going to stop this part of the rehearsal. I'm stepping out. And I went and I did myself a favor by doing some prayer. I did some spiritual mind treatment. I came back in. I said, well, let's change the song. And they said, no, we're not changing the song. I said, okay, then we'll go one more go at it, and I'll see if I really want to sing it today. And it turns out, yes, that final rehearsal was exactly what was needed. Boom, done. End of story. It all worked out. But it's because I took it upon myself to take care of myself. And I didn't expect anybody else to take care of me. This is the thing about this philosophy. It is a lot about self-care. Now, we can rely on other people when we are having trouble knowing the truth. That's what the minister is for. That's what practitioners are for. So that we can come together in consciousness, because there is only one thing going on, and that is consciousness. That is conscious awareness. It is mind. We all share in it. We're all expressing as this one consciousness. We are one unified energy, each and every one of us. Not just in this room, although we constitute a complete idea within the context of this room, but this entire city, the entire country, the entire continent, the entire planet, the entire solar system, the entire universe. We are one unified energy. Boy, that lets me off the hook when I have those moments to say, oh, there's something greater working here, and I can relax into it or I can fight it. And I choose no longer to fight it. I relax into it and know that there is a higher truth. It's like I wrote on, when did I write this on Facebook? I think it was on Monday. When things begin to unravel in your life, it's because the limitations that you have placed can no longer contain the greatness. And so what must be born is something new, because God cannot be contained by the limitations we place upon ourselves. And we are, each of us, a perfect individualized expression of God. That's who and what we are. So we're the ones who limit ourselves, and then things begin to unravel because it can't be contained by us. So yes, I've had a challenging week. A lot of stuff is going on, and we're moving out of the basement. Boy, if you saw this place 2 days ago, right, Margaret Ann? If you saw this place 2 days ago, it was like a bomb exploded in this room. But we've got it all together. We're moving forward. It's all good. And I allowed some frustration to be my energy when I came in today. But now I let it go. Now I let it go. Ernest Holmes writes, really hear this, advances in science and civilization come through, I think I typed this out incorrectly. As I'm like, this sentence doesn't make any sense. Sometimes my fingers get the best of me. All right, let me think about what this quote is actually supposed to be. Okay, I'm going to take that word out. And I will try reading this again. Advances in science and civilization come breaking through the belief that things have to be the way they are because they have always been that way. Advances in science and civilization, that's evolution. Only comes about when we get rid of the belief that things have to be a certain way because they've always been that way. That's when advances happen. How many of us are sitting back into the, oh, well, it's always been that way, so it must be? because you will not move forward. You will not progress. You will not evolve from that point of view. So check in with yourself today. And one of the things I wrote down today, it's going to sound pejorative, and I don't mean to make a pejorative statement, but religion. And we do, I consider this a religion. It is a religion because it is a conscious, focused awareness that I have on the concept of God in my life. Whether you call it a religion or not, that's up to you. But I do call it a religion. Religion is no excuse for regressive thought. And a lot of religions are coming about life from a thought of coming from regressive thoughts. Well, it's always been that way, so that must be the way it is. And I'm ready to break through that. And that's what I believe this philosophy, this particular philosophy, stands for. We talk about being open at the top and being open to the new and being open to the next thing and always evolving and always growing. So religion is no excuse for regressive thought. And yet, are we then thinking that we're the ones who are so progressive, looking upon other people and condemning them because they seemingly aren't where we are? Think about that. Do not judge. Those people, their life's journey is entirely up to them. Who are we? Who are we to make any judgment, pass any judgment upon them? So I say, let them be. Leave them be. Let them be who they need to be. Let them understand their nature in relationship to their divine understanding of God, whatever that is. We even say it. I believe, you got me, Linda? I'm going to go over here now. Poor Linda. Poor Linda trying to follow me on the camera. One of the declarations that we make is, I believe that God is personal to all who feel this indwelling presence. And it's not even up to me to determine that you should believe in God the same way I believe in God. What do you believe to be true about the nature of God? Because that's how you will experience God. I believe that God is personal to all who feel this indwelling presence. So there was a great teacher who basically said, judge not, lest ye be judged. So let's pull that proverbial plank out of our eye when we're trying to see the speck of dust in someone else's. So today I actually have decided, because I haven't done this in a very long time, and it does occur to me that on the equivalent weekend 2 years ago, I did the same thing, because it was my second Sunday candidating here. I wanted to open it up to questions and answers today. So there are a number of you who may be here for the first time and won't know what question to ask, but you're welcome to ask. Anybody's welcome to ask any question. So I'm going to turn it over to you to ask me what questions you would like to ask. Anyone have any questions? I know you're all like, wait, I wasn't prepared for this.
I do.
Yes, Tanis. Actually, why don't, and if you do have a question, I'm going to invite you to step up to a microphone.
Thanks, Ken. So the elephant in the room for the city of Toronto is our mayor. So, but what you just said, because this is what I've been conflicted about since things started to implode. Yes, not judging, but how do I reconcile with, I would like to see him step away and take care of himself and have somebody else govern our city. So that's been really difficult because on Facebook I'm like, "Ugh!" But still holding him in, as the teaching says, yeah, he's a child of God, behaving as fill in the blank. Because everybody has an opinion, everybody has a judgment. So it's been a really big struggle for me personally, because I know what I feel, while still holding him in the, obviously I'm terribly conflicted. So I'm just, if you can address that
Okay.
with what you just spoke about, that would be helpful.
Yes, I'm happy to do that. So, yeah, it's funny. It is the elephant in the room. Our practitioner class on this past Tuesday was on addictions and substance abuse, things like that. And it's funny because Rob Ford did not come up at all in that class. And it's potential for a perfect opportunity to talk about that effect in people's lives. First of all, certainly we must step away from judgment of the behavior. Stepping away from judgment of the behavior, I think, is paramount. He's on his journey. Now, his journey in this particular instance is affecting, it's very affecting, but we are the ones who are at choice about how it affects us personally, because we are not responsible to anybody but ourselves. And so, what I choose to express in my own life around this is to know that no matter what the circumstances look like, and these are seemingly big circumstances, right? But there is no great or small to the soul that maketh all. God does not know the difference between big or small. It doesn't know. It just knows to create. So there's something that is being created for and by this entire community in consciousness. It was this community, maybe not you personally, this community chose him. This community chose him with an understanding that there were issues there. I mean, I don't think that there was a surprise there. Was there? Not to me. Not to you. The community, this city still chose him. Now, to heal this, first of all, as you are doing, know the highest and best for him. The core of who he is not the behavior. The core of who he is not the addiction, if it is an addiction. And my personal belief, and I'm going to say this is my personal belief, I believe that there is an addictive compulsive behavior thing going on there. That's not who he is at the core of his beingness. There is that part of him that has never been touched by any outside circumstance, just as there is for each and every one of us. And I think if we all turn the mirror upon ourselves and started to look at what are the obsessive compulsive behaviors that we might engage in our own lives, then we can allow the greatness of God to start to shine through him. Can we now, as a community, begin to understand that no matter what the circumstances are, it is all born out of an idea that God is always expressing life, no matter what. And that when we really step into God expresses life no matter what, the behavior becomes secondary to that. And the only reason we engage in harmful behaviors is because we think that it's going to assist us in some way. The only reason we end up in compulsions is because there is a habitual thinking, there's a habitual thought process there, which is all I'm ever really talking about. What is our habitual thought process? And is it constructive or is it destructive in our own lives? So I bless him. I don't agree with the behavior. I also, now it's all going to be on video, and I'm not ever really supposed to talk about political people. Do I agree with him determining that it's a good idea to stay in his position right now? Probably not. But there's no mechanism, unless he were to resign, for anything to change. So let's all start to put our focus on how to heal, which is understand the divine reality rather than focusing on the circumstances. That's how you heal. Does that make sense? All right. Any other questions? Not, lay it on me, because I'm here to answer the big questions, apparently. It's going to be a real short day if there are no questions. Yes.
I guess for me, and it's timely, it's a good one. It's coming up is the whole issue of judging versus discerning. And so people will say there is no judgment, and then it's really important that we align and we discern. And for me, this is coming up through connecting with a teacher of mine,
Okay.
who's very, very much respected and is going through some very difficult times in her own life right now. And discerning, to what extent do I go there for guidance, and to what extent do I keep my own perspective, and can I find my own perspective in that? Like, just discerning is, because I don't, I guess I'm good with not judging. I mean, the whole Rob Ford thing, I laugh. I find it doesn't hit anything in me, but sort of in this other area, discerning versus judging.
Okay. So, discernment. Well, let's talk about judgment first. Judgment is taking things personally. Judgment is allowing your personality, your personal reaction to become heated in a situation. If it's impersonal, if your reaction is impersonal, you can live within discernment. That's just opinion. So, where do you want to be on that? Do you want it to make you crazy because you're making it personal? Here's a great way of understanding judgment versus discernment. You go to a restaurant and you sit down, and it's a very nice restaurant. You're all dressed up, and you order your meal, and the meal comes out and it's laid out before you, and you take a bite of your meal, and it tastes terrible. You can have the discernment of saying, this is not to my liking, and make a choice based on that idea. This is not to my liking, I'd like to send it back. Judgment is this. How could that chef send something out that was so disgusting? Because now you've made it personal about the chef, rather than just having an opinion about, you know what, this is not to my liking. Let's send it back and let's find something else. So it's taking the heat out of judgment that it becomes discernment and really is opinion. Does that make sense?
I guess the other distinction there that makes sense for me is it's really staying in tune with your own, like being able to say, no, this tastes bad, no matter how much it costs, no matter how much other people might think is good, what it tastes like to me.
Yeah.
And then versus all of the other stuff.
Yeah, so it is about, what is my, there's a word. The word is coming to me right now. This is my treatment right in front of you all. What is my responsibility in this situation? I don't have to like the food, even if somebody else were to say this is wonderful. In that moment, my responsibility is to respond ably. I have the ability to respond in that moment. I can make a choice. And I don't have to let my choice be overridden by other people's opinions either. And how many of us do that? Oh, I don't want to, cause any waves here, so I'm just going to, keep my mouth quiet, and I'm going to eat this meal, and I'm not going to enjoy it. And then I'm going to be upset about it. And I'm going to allow that upset to go with me into the next thing that I'm doing this evening, and maybe even into the next day. Wow, 3 days later, that meal was terrible. No one should ever go to that restaurant. Why would you go to that restaurant? They serve terrible food. See how it can also expand and grow if you're standing in judgment? You are in choice. You are at choice in that moment. So, thank you. Thank you. Next. Yes.
Well, she was asking the same thing I was.
Sorry.
It's because I'm living right now in a seniors building where there's a lot, not many English-speaking people, and the ones that do seem to have a lot of issues.
Okay.
And it was just a simple little thing that somebody put their laundry into my machine that she didn't see they were in there, and then she took them out and put them in the dryer, so I had to go to get them, and I just explained it to her, but she couldn't accept that.
Mm-hmm.
So I came downstairs one night, and she just slid into me and swore at me, and I reacted.
Mm-hmm.
And then I looked at that because it was the words she used, the swear words, and why was that bothering me? Why did I take it so personally? Because it was clearly that she couldn't accept that she'd made a mistake and she has some kind of self-esteem issue. But so do I. I saw it as I just remembered the teaching of the 4 agreements.
4 agreements, yeah.
Never take anything personally, and then how people are a mirror. And I use it as a teaching lesson, and then and after that, she didn't bother me anymore, even though everybody in the building is bothered by her. She did.
But you're at Choice.
I was at Choice.
Yeah.
Yes, I saw that. And also I saw it as a teaching, and it was something that I had still to work on myself.
Yeah.
I had a self-esteem issue, obviously, or I wouldn't have cared.
Yeah, well, being careful to recognize that you may be able to call yourself on a self-esteem issue, but let's not necessarily attribute that to anybody else, because we don't really know what's going on there. We don't really know what's going on with anybody.
No, that's true. That's what I did. I turned the mirror on and said, actually, this is about me.
Yeah.
This is mine.
Yeah.
That's why I react.
And there are many people who are going through life who don't really have an awareness of what's going on with themselves. So you're already ahead of the pack. We are only responsible to ourselves. We only make choices for ourselves. There was something else that came to mind as you were speaking, and now it's escaped me, so it clearly didn't need to be said. Boy, but it was brilliant. It was so brilliant in that moment. It was the reason you would all want to show up today. Yeah.
Basically what you're saying is we're on the verge or in the process of transformation because the old patterns have to be broken down and the new mindset, the way we're thinking is coming into process. This is what actually Ford is doing. He's putting his own stuff out publicly and allowing us to work with it in regards to how we respond to him.
Yes.
In a sense, what you're talking about using the God energy, he is being, the God energy is giving him or causing him to express his opinion so that we can react, and that is the learning process.
Yeah, so just because for the internet, so the God energy is creating something here. Now, here's the thing. We can also understand that if there is a transformation, see, it goes right in line. The container can no longer hold what it is, so it's unraveling. And what will be born is something greater, a greater expression. And I think that we're just in the process of it, and it doesn't feel good. The process of it doesn't feel good right now. Anyone ever have that experience, or has every process you've ever experienced felt really good?
Isn't Ford's choice, it's his choice
It is his choice.
to change it, or as he's doing, he's digging in, trying to contain it. This is his struggle.
This is his struggle. It's on a public stage, and I don't really, I would not want to be him, quite frankly. I wouldn't want that to be, I'm not saying that I have secret crack videos anywhere. I don't. They're all out in the public. No, I'm just kidding. But it's a stage that I would not want to be on personally, but it is a cause and an opportunity for transformation for our entire community. And so that's the way I look at it. Something great must be born of this, and it will be. And I remember now what it was I was going to say. What I was going to say is, in the situation where you may experience other people and you start to recognize something in them that you're recognizing in yourself, it goes to this thing that I've said many, many times. If you want to know what's going on in your own mind, look at your life. And that's the whole process of this philosophy, is to start to get very much in tune with what is happening in my mind, because that's the way my life is showing up. Everything that shows up in life, every physical manifestation starts first as an idea in mind. Everything. Here we are. I haven't done this in a long, long time, right? The wall, except I think I do it every week at some point. The wall is a physical manifestation of something that was an idea in mind first. The experience of our mayor is something that is a physical manifestation of an idea that was in mind first. And so it is up to each and every one of us to turn around our own thinking about it to a place of understanding the healing that needs to take place, the revealing of the divine within this. All right, Carmen.
I think this is very interesting that this is coming up, because part of the philosophy is when things show up in your life like this, is to really, it's an opportunity to take a look at what is it that's going on in our own lives that this is mirroring for us.
Yes.
So I think if maybe you could speak to the community about engaging each and every one of us to look at what is going on in our life that is asking to be shifted on this capacity, because it is that stuff is happening and things, God is asking to be expressed in a different way, I think, not only for the city, but if it's showing up in all of our lives, then it's also asking each and every one of us to do the same thing.
Comment. Isn't that the aspects of you focusing on fear? If you bring the fear into it of change?
I don't know that that's what she was saying necessarily.
What I'm saying.
No, but okay, carry on.
So here's where I go. And I'm actually going to take it into a larger context. Because I think what's really happening, if you look at the entire world, there is so much turmoil. And over the course of my experience over the last 40, almost 41 years, I have seen the turmoil shift. I've seen it grow. I've seen it dissipate. And it feels like it's growing right now. And it is growing for precisely the reason that we are in a moment of transformation. I believe we are on the cusp of a huge awakening. And here's what's been going on. For the past 6 or 7 years, I go to these conferences and I keep hearing people say, we're on the cusp of the awakening. We're on the cusp of the awakening. It's almost here. It's almost in our reach. And I want to say to them, that's not what we teach within this philosophy. We teach that it is here now. We must all now decide that this is the way we want to live. And demonstration is instantaneous. Now, that said, there is also a thing called the subjective consensus. Don't get lost in the words. The subjective consensus are the shared ideas in the universal mind by a group of people that are showing up in form. It's also called race consciousness. I don't really like to use the term race consciousness because then people think, ethnicity, race, like it just confuses people. But there is a consensus in the subjective, in that which is below the conscious surface, that is at play in everything we think, say, and do. And we're agreeing to it until we decide not to agree with it anymore consciously. The conscious mind is more powerful than the subconscious, which is why we can consciously use our mind to shift the subconscious. And that's the power of this philosophy. When you really understand that, that's when your life transforms. That's when the entire planet transforms. But it is a thing that is done right now. It is not an awakening that is coming. Let's all decide right now to be awakened. Yeah.
Isn't it the conscious that is interfering with the subconscious? Because in the Buddhist terms, there's the lower self and the higher self. The lower self is the conscious mind that's running constantly, and the higher self is with the spiritual containment. But if the conscious mind runs constantly, the spiritual part that does not get into action,
Well,
get involved in it.
Well, that's a different philosophy, to be clear. So if that's the understanding of the Buddhist philosophy, what I believe is there is only the self. There's no higher self and lower self. There is only the self. And so it's all part of the same thing. There's the conscious mind, which is about 10% of the creative. We're only conscious of about 10% of what's going on in our lives. 90% of the subconscious is taking care of everything else around us. But we have the capacity to use that 10% to affect the 90%.
Yeah, but if the conscious mind is running the program, it doesn't allow the change.
But what I'm saying is the conscious mind and the subconscious mind in tandem run the program.
Yes, but my the subconscious. There's a difference.
Well, in the Buddhist philosophy, what is
Yeah.
I need lessons in picking up the mic. In the Buddhist philosophy, what is known as the lower self is actually what is known as the subjective self in this philosophy.
Put the mic on, Carmen.
Oh, okay.
Hold it closer. Hold it closer to
Okay.
your mouth.
In the Buddhist philosophy, what you're referring to as the lower self is actually considered the subjective consciousness. If you translate that, make that translation here, you will follow through with what Jonathan is talking about.
Yeah, and I'm also not saying that we have to consciously be in charge of everything that's going on. I want to be at the point where I have placed into the subjective, into the spiritual consciousness, a mold that shows up in my life so that I can relax into it and just enjoy the extraordinary life that I'm here to live.
But you're running against, you have to overcome the subconscious because of your programming. I mean, going back to
Which is what we teach.
Family, he's got the family history.
Right, he has the family history.
And he's functioning, his conscious mind is functioning from that point.
His conscious mind is functioning from that point, yes.
Go through the process to reduce the conscious mind in order to get to the other part.
For whom?
For himself.
We're talking about somebody else. I'm not in charge of him. He's in charge of himself. But our only responsibility is to ourselves and to our reaction and our ability to respond to the things that are showing up in our life. And we can either decide that it is a destructive force in our lives or a constructive force in our lives. Which side of that equation do you want to be on?
I just think it's interesting that when people say that they find this embarrassing, I wonder why are they taking it personally?
And a lot of us do take it personally.
But that's interesting.
We're only responsible to ourselves. And that's one of the things that a lot of people don't even want to hear within this philosophy. They don't want to hear that they're responsible only for themselves. We're not, let's all understand, none of us are responsible for Rob Ford. None of us. He's on his journey. It's going to unfold exactly the way it needs to for him, and he is the one who's at choice here. We don't have to make that choice for him. So we can assume all we want about his conscious use of the law. It doesn't matter. We're only responsible for ourselves. So I'm going to do one more because we're basically out of time. Yes. Yep. Nope.
I've been in Canada just for a year and a half. All this situation with the mayor in back home in Venezuela is you see every day. Okay? That happens all the time. Okay, so, but this situation with him is motivating for me because if he's the mayor, I can be the mayor as well. Come on. I'm doing better. So if I want to be the mayor of the city sometime. So I deeply believe that when you are having a hard time with something in your life, it's because you need to learn something of that situation. And Toronto needs to learn something of this situation. That's it. Okay? That guy is there because, well, I didn't choose him, but all of you choose him, and we are living the experience that we choose with him, okay? There is an amazing book about this conscious and unconscious that is, Patrick, could you please, the book that you gave to Helen last week? Oh, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. Okay, amazing book about that subject. I was going to say something else, but I forgot.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I appreciate, thank you. I appreciate that because here's the other thing we need to look at context. It really is all context. Everything is contextual. What is your relationship to the events in your life? What is your relationship to the circumstances in your life? And you're the one who gets to decide your reaction. It's the greatest gift we've been given, is the gift of choice in everything. In everything. So take that choice and run with it. I have one final quote to end the day with, and it really is very fitting, I think. It's a little bit more of a lengthy quote, so just breathe. Ernest Holmes writes this: "We must allow spiritual activity a larger scope. No matter how limited a viewpoint we may have had yesterday, today we can increase our field of inward awareness. Then we make possible a greater influx of the divine through the human, that is, through our own thinking. The belief that we cannot binds us back to the old precedents and compels us to accept only as much good as has been experienced in the past." So today, my encouragement to each and every one of us, and myself included, is to open ourselves up to something greater. To know that there is a greater plan that we all get to decide upon. It's not planned for us, we get to decide upon it. And you are the one, each and every one of us is in charge of our own divine plan. So let's live it today. Namaste. And thank you for bringing on the hard questions. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for wrapping cable. I'm going to invite to the microphone Tony Matthews, who is one of the members of our stewardship committee this year. As we are now in the midst of our stewardship campaign, Tony has something he'd like to say. Welcome, Tony.
Hi. Tony! Hi, guys. How are you? Thank you, Reverend Jonathan.
You're welcome.
I love that. I love question and answer. So I was absolutely certain I would know exactly what specifically I'm going to say today. And yeah, whatever. I'll just be quiet and let it go through me. What I did notice before is, as I was reading this, the first thing we talk about is thank you for taking the time. This is the little information booklet on stewardship, which is in the bookstore or whatever. It says, thank you for taking the time to learn more about this. And for me, that kind of says it all. I'm not here to sell anyone on anything. I'm here because I'm kind of happy. Kinda. Yeah, and I'm from Minnesota. That's as close as I can get. I moved here 3.5, almost 4 years ago from Los Angeles. I was going to move to Toronto 2 years before that, something like that. And I had just come to the Science of Mind philosophy. And so I had looked on the internet and found that there was a Center for Spiritual Living in Toronto. Yay! Woo! Even though it took a couple years before I came up here to become a part of this, it was really great that as I was about to move, I knew there was people around who were talking the same language I was. And I ended up here, I was living in Los Angeles, so a lot of people have a lot of spiritual and religious and self-important, no, that's not. Self-directed ideas. And I loved learning from all sorts of different people about their philosophies, their thoughts, their things like that. And I'm thinking of one specific friend whose thinking was very similar to this, but who was absolutely adamant that he did not need a community. He could do this all himself. And I absolutely believe that that is 100% true for Daniel. For me, I love a community. I want a community. Not just for people who speak the same language and so I can learn things and have discussions like what's just had here, but I also just love community. I like people, and sometimes they're okay with me. So it works well. We do together. So the two things that made me think of is, one, I am so glad the people who started this center started it and put it out there and let me know there was a community I could come, be a part of, and continue my personal journey. Two, as a part of that journey, I've learned that What's the class that's happening now, Jonathan?
The power of decision.
I have learned that the power of being wishy-washy and not really sure about it does not serve me. I get exactly the experience that I'm putting out there. So if I'm like, yeah, that looks cool. God, I'd love to do that someday. I'll support them someday. I'm that way with, I was that way with a lot of different things. Then I took some courses in North Hollywood and elsewhere, and Edwina Gaines, love her, and found out some methods for just making a commitment. Whoever I make a commitment to, I'm honestly only making a commitment to myself. And I make commitments to places that feed me spiritually. There are many arts organizations that I delight over the work they do, so I want to make sure they're there. There are people who help people that I am so impressed with. I want to make sure they're there. There are communities like this that feed me. Wait a minute, not like this. This community feeds me. There are other communities like this, but I want to make sure it's here. That is why I'm a steward, because I'm going to make the decision for me to know that I will help maintain something that will be there for the next person who looks online and goes, I wonder if there's something out there that I can relate to. Pick up the flyer, read it. If you have any questions, there's people to talk to. Everything you heard today says it all. Make a commitment to what matters to you. Make the choice for yourself and live the results. Thank you.
Thank you. I also want to encourage everyone who has been a part of the stewardship this year. If you filled out a form last year, we do ask that you fill out a new form for the next budget year. It just helps us do with our planning. So do please take a look at that. And it is the time where we do our offering. So if you would hold whatever it is you have to offer the center today, recognizing that it is a gift made from love, not out of obligation, from love. Let's read together the divine givingness statement on the back of our songbooks. I know that God is the source of all supply, and that money is God in action. I know that my good is here now. I claim an abundance of money to spare and share. I know that true prosperity includes perfect health, perfect wealth, and perfect happiness. I bless all that I have now, and I bless the increase. I give thanks for this good. I know that my gift today goes forward to heal and bless. I joyously contribute to the vision of this spiritual center and know that it returns to me multiplied abundantly. And as the baskets go around, we're going to sing Point of Power, which is on page 27.
In this moment I feel joy. In this moment I feel joy. In this moment I feel joy. I feel joy. I feel joy. I feel joy. And the point of power is in this moment now. And the point of power is in this moment now. In this moment I feel grace. In this moment I feel grace. In this moment I feel grace.
Margaret Ann will do a blessing over our offering. Okay?
Yep, it's my hip. In this moment, in this point of power, in this joyful moment, I know that there is only one presence, and it takes infinite number of forms, and it takes an infinite number of people to express these infinite number of forms. And each person has an infinite number of forms in which to circulate this energy, this power. And in this moment, I am grateful that each of you has chosen, that each of us has chosen this way of giving, this way of expressing this infinite power. This is a beautiful expression of the divine, and I accept on behalf of this board of trustees this gift of knowing that life is expansive, that life is the eternal power and joy of giving and receiving. I accept this knowing that is expressed in these baskets, and know that it carries on and expresses in so many new ways. Everything is always expanding and growing, this I know. And I am grateful that these expressions are here and will carry on. In gratitude for this, and for each and every volunteer that is in this place, for the energy that they bring to this center, and for the love that they express in everything they do. In gratitude for that, and this, and everything that this center represents, I release these words to the law of mind, knowing that life expands through these words of power and acknowledgement. In gratitude, I release, I let go, I let it be so. And together we say, and so it is.
Thank you, Margaret Ann. I want to thank everyone who made today's experience possible. But first of all, our board members, Jim and Tony, who are making their way along. I want to thank for setting up today Pat and Kathy, and our greeters, Tony and Judy. Judy, thank you so much. In the bookstore today, Patricia is helping us out. In the sound booth, Carmen, thank you so much. On our webcast, on camera is Linda. Thank you for your service today. With the dynamic kids, I might just be a kid today, but with our dynamic kid is Mark. I'm grateful for him. I'm grateful for this entire band, the Queen Street Band. Thank you all so much. And I am eternally grateful to our practitioners today. I thank you, Margaret Ann, for your conscious awareness and what you bring to this center. Thank you very much. Practitioners are available here to know the truth for you. I just want to remind you, I don't say that often enough, but we are here to know the truth for you if you are having difficulty knowing it yourself. Oh, thank you. So if you're having an experience right now that you'd rather not have, or you'd like to shift it, speak to a practitioner. So I invite you to take whatever it is that you get to take today, whatever touched you. Allow yourself to resonate with that idea right now. Simply relaxing right where you are. Simply allowing yourself this moment of reflection to know something deeper. There is a light that guides you through the storms. There is a peace that lives beneath the waves. There is a place of healing and calm beneath the sorrow and the joy. There is a stillness and grace. Your tears like rain are falling
from the skies. It is God's love that's pouring from your eyes. The wounds of life, they bring healing, my friend. The heart that breaks is but opening again. The heart that breaks is but opening again. I take this moment right here, right now, to allow myself to relax into that deeper place of understanding, that deeper place of knowing that there is only one power. There is only one unified spirit. There is only one energy. There's only one thing going on, and I call it love. Love is the creative source of the universe. And so I call upon it right here and right now with the understanding that each and every one of us is a perfect idea formed from love, formed in love, and formed by love. I call upon it knowing that our lives are unfolding for infinite greatness and in infinite greatness, that each and every one of us is on a perfect journey. And I give over to love being the core of that journey for each and every one of us right here and right now. And so in gratitude for this understanding, in gratitude for this experience, in gratitude for this day, I release this word, knowing it is complete, for I have spoken it, and it impresses upon the law a perfect idea that is born. And so I simply step out of the way and allow it to be born in my experience and in the experience of every single person here. I release, I let go, and I allow, as together we say, and so it is. There is a light that guides you through the storms. There is a place of healing and calm. There is a peace that lives beneath the waves, beneath the sorrow and the joy. There is a stillness and grace. Your tears like rain are falling from the skies. It is God's love that's pouring from your eyes. The wounds of life, they bring healing, my friend. A heart that breaks is but opening again. A heart that breaks is but opening again. There is a light. There is a light. And so it is. We're going to take it out today with Peace Like a River on page 25. And I invite you to stand and stretch and dance as Pierre tunes his guitar.
I was on Capo 7. Good, yeah.
Have a great week, everyone.